All right, no, peace, peace, peace. First and foremost, hopefully the Most High house shot. No, I just hit this. It, it's kind of impromptu thing right here, but it's kind of by His mercies, by His mercies we are consumed. Just go out there another day, like showing that love and kindness to one another. Like let's be better than we were yesterday. It's another day. It's a day as Psalm says, and it's a day that the Lord made. Like let's be let's rejoice and be glad in it, man. Like like Sirach says, defrauding at themselves of a good day, man. This is crazy, man. Because seriously, man, you really gotta appreciate this life, man. Because honestly, like I was actually just talking about this, even the natural side, even the worldly side, right? I was actually my brother and stuff like that. We was talking about the whole, which I'm kind of going to later, briefly, not on the as far as like the World Star thing or the blogs or the podcast thing, like the whole like Little Dirt things of that nature. But yeah, that just shows you on the natural side, like how like like hey, that old UGK song. One day you hear, next day you gone, man. Like so yeah, man. That's on the natural side, one physically and like I mean spiritually and like physically, but more as like on this side, man. One thing like like y'all heard y'all brothers and sisters heard growing up, like one decision can change your whole life. It could cost you life, or it could cost you life, like in prison, or like or just this altering life, or just altering life. Things can change your life. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Even my homie, he sent me. That's crazy because Clark Kent passed away yesterday, man. Like DJ Clark Kent, like passed away. The one legendary DJ, in rap in the hip hop world, in that rap game. Back in the day, so even still, it's legendary. But I've said it to say, man, because like all these is like all relating to the spiritual, man. Like because it's like that's why like I always say, man, because like people like been passing away left and right, man. So we gotta this enjoy this stuff, man. Seriously, man. So like it's kind of yeah, man. It's just all, and I told my homie, listen, man. I sent him that like Lamentations 3:39. What if a living man had to do a complaint? Because one, like I said, like I always say, I forgot to say, but like when we're alive in the Most High house in their body, we're alive then, we're alive there, and also too we're naturally alive, man. So because like Sirach says, Psalm says, a lot of other scriptures says, who could praise the Most High in the grave? Who could even know Him in the grave? Who could like seek Him out in the grave, man? Honestly, man. So like. Yeah, man. So let's seek Him now while it's early, man. Because like and like like that Baruch, like I'm gonna touch on that Baruch later, man. That Baruch 4:29. But no, let me get this Baruch now, right quick. This is a little, because it's not really going into what I'm going to, but I think like these messages are important for us, like important for myself to realize every day, no matter what's going on, man. Still remember it's Baruch chapter 4 and verse 29. It says for Baruch chapter 4 verse 28, I'm sorry, for as much as it was your mind to go astray from Yahweh, so be in return, seek Him 10 times more. So yeah, man, exactly, man. Why right now, honestly, man. So because like even brother Shout brother sent me a first one last night. He's going to like he was talking about briefly the whole little dirty situation, and like even like how even in the old classic movie Menace to Society, man, like 31 years ago, man, like how Cain. Crazy thing is, I'm actually going to talk about Cain later. Actually, Cain, but it's crazy. How it's like I always say in the videos, like how Cain is never, that name is never associated with anything good, but that's is what it is though. But how Cain in the movie in Men's Society, man, he waited. He said, listen, like his uncle used to say, listen, do you even care if you live or die? And he said he didn't know, but of course, in the commentary at the end in the movie, like he did, but it was too late, man. So like that Scarface song, man, you get a minute to pray and a second to die, man. Like seriously. So yeah, but I'm kind of going like don't mean to go here nor there, but it's really serious, man. It's real, but yeah, man. Yeah, man. Let me get this too, because I was actually talking about this. Actually, shout out to one of my brothers, man. He's he's doing his CDL thing, man. But it just kind of led me to this, man. I've been thinking about this whole week, man. Like that's why, like and it's okay. That's why I know. Let me get this Romans 12:3 real quick, right? I'm just going to the measure of no, let me get not Romans 12:3. Let's go to Colossians, like the one I just we was talking about earlier, and brought out a few days ago. We brought out a few days ago. Um, Colossians 4 and 6. Colossians 4 and 6. It says, I'm in Thessalonians right now. Colossians 4 and 6. It says, um, let your speech let your speech always be with grace and seasoned with salt, that ye may know how to ye ought to answer every man. So yeah, man. So you answer people different ways, man. Go know how to adjust, man. Like there's certain situations, man. Like know how to answer, like everybody. Like I went to the whole comforting thing, man. Everything doesn't work for everybody. Every method, every tact doesn't work to everybody. You talk to know how to move, know how to That's why Paul says, as a Jew, I became a Jew, man. I know how to walk in wisdom that those are without, man. So you know how to answer everybody and be adaptable in situations, like in the one, like in the spiritual setting when you're amongst your brothers, and two, like in the professional setting, like or employee setting, like know how to deal with them. And sometimes even when you, I like shoot me, when I'm out about, like I'm about if I say if I'm go back to my old hood, whatever, in West Philly or something like that. If I'm around there, I know, or this like I'm downtown, or even there, or for like if I'm Lord willing, if I'm overseas or something like that, you know how to even deal with different nations, different types of people, like know how to like be adaptable, man. You know what? I kind of like me personally, my skills kind of with that kind of grew once I came into word, because I was like I'm still socially awkward, I'm still socially awkward, but that kind of diminished once I know how to deal with more different people. Once I came into word, but that's neither here nor there, man. But I said to say, man, I was going to get that Romans 12:3, man. But because the measure going to the measure of faith, man. But sometimes you gotta like I always say, man. Like listen, you gotta know, as men we should know our limitations and different things, man. So, and also too, I was talking about this with my brother yesterday, because he's in CDL school, man. He's going to how certain people aren't taking it seriously. He's like, that's why he said, listen, man, but y'all don't realize the opportunity that we have here. I want y'all to win, but I told him at the end of the day, like, yeah, I totally understand, because I'm kind of the same way. It's like, listen, especially those job training programs, man. It's like, yo, man, it's like your peers, man. We all here for the same goal. I told him it's a spiritual aspect, man. That's why I actually know. Let's go to Romans real quick. Let's go and stay in Romans real quick, because I was gonna, impromptu, but let's go to Romans real quick. That's why Paul even says this, man, because it's the same in the spiritual aspect. It's same here. Romans chapter 10 verse 1. It says, brother, my heart's and desire to the God for Israel is that they might be saved. Yeah, man. So exactly, man. That's what the spirit that Moses had, spirit that Ezra had, spirit that Yahushua had, and all other our righteous forefathers, the prophets had, man. That's why I brought that, that Ezekiel 18:32 yesterday, man. Even the Most High don't even want that. Most High Yahushua, listen, the Son of Man came to save lives, man. So we know it's not going to happen if our people aren't, but that's just what it is, man. Having that intercessor spirit, you really want that to happen for the your people, man. But it's not gonna happen. Got to be okay with that. So, but that's why I said Philippians, work out your own with salvation, fear, and trembling. And your Acts says, listen, see, you gotta save yourself from this untoward generation. So, but anyway, man. But also you gotta serve him with fear and trembling as well. But yeah, man, anyway, man, and that's what it is. But I'm just going back to the natural level on the job training programs, man. That's how it is, man, because I've been in a few, man. It's like job, career, different programs. We meet people there, and it's really cool. It's like, man, you meet good brothers and sisters there. It's just like, good, man. You all the ones to win. But, at the end of the day, certain people just going to come in on nonsense and not going to do what they supposed to do, man. But we gotta remember. But it is too. As what we really realize is that let me get there. I'll get Romans 10:12, 3. It says, "For I say unto you, grace is given unto every man that is among you, not to think himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly, according to Yahweh hath he dealt to every man the measure of faith." So yeah, man. Even different, because most high house I give different people measures of faith, but even on the natural side, even there's different measures for everybody, man. Everybody doesn't have to check out every box, man. Seriously, man, because I'm about to grab this cover. This is all kind of going to me reading Proverbs 26 right here. And Tim right here, the good news. But you know, you gotta realize, man, everybody's like, you know, even some of your brothers, some of your homies, some of your loved ones, man. Everybody doesn't have to check off every box. Sometimes it's like your people, like, you know, because I know certain people, like, you know, they all right, cool, but they like, you know, they don't check every box. Like, okay, this nigga's kind of foolish. He's kind of stupid, but no, like, you know, I love him though, cause like, but he's loyal though. He loves. Listen, he first busts your gun for you. He'll be there for you. I'm not talking about like anybody particular. I'm just talking about throughout your life, man. Like, you know, you gotta know that, man. Sometimes your friends is like, you know, say to somebody. I ain't gonna say it like that because how he said it was funny, but it's true though. They gotta come to terms. It's like, okay, certain times, some of my friends are stupid. It's just like, okay, like, you know, it's certain things I can't go to this person for. Like, okay, I really might not need to go to them for, but they actually have other good qualities about like loyalty. They're loving. They're like, you know, they'll be there for you. They give you their last. But it's like, all right, cool. Like, I'm business wise, okay, but this he doesn't always make the best decisions. Like, all right, cool. Like, bro, like, you know, you'll just like, you know, have like, I'm gonna use that example because me personally, I don't. Well, I think I do, but I can't think off the top of my head. Like, bro, you kind of have like one baby after another by different women, brother. Like, come on now, like you kind of being irresponsible, man. Like, you know, but you also too, like, you know, thing is too. But the thing is too, you don't. That's what I go into yesterday, man. You don't try to change people, man. Like, you know, one, if you're around me, man, I'm trying to add value to your life, man. Because I'm some man shit, like, you know, like X said, listen, the testament of a man is what he does. Not only does from what he does for himself, but what he does for others, man. Your house child is a perfect example for that of that, but. Yeah, man, and that's just is what it is too. I want to be make a you know impact in your life, and like, you know, impact your life, and impact others. Like, be you know, contribute to your life. You know, be you know, have an impact in your life. I want to you know, make your life better. Like, you know, I want to do that. But you know, also too, like, you know, but if you but you know, you don't have to. For me, man, you don't even one. You could just be yourself around. You know. Around me, man. That's cool. I mean, of course, there's certain boundaries, things of that nature, but it's just like, listen, man, I'm not, because like I always say, man, listen, people aren't in my life, in my world, for me to, like, you know, for them to be a certain way that I want to be them. No, they're gonna be themselves, man. But listen, like, you know, they're just gonna, like, you know, be themselves, and like, you know, and contribute, like, you know, to my life as well. Just like I want to contribute to theirs, man. Just like spiritually, like, you know, any type of way, man. Seriously, spiritually, like, you know, sometimes emotionally, sometimes like in otherwise, man, adding value, because I want to add value to your life, and you know, hopefully willingly add value to mine, man. So, because honestly, man, like I remember, I forgot who said this a lot of times. Like me, even personally, sometimes I don't want to be with people who are like that's, you know, it is too. It's a balanced thing with that, because I'm about to get into all that stuff later, because like, you know, because a lot of times, like, you know, people that, you know, because I don't want to be around me all the time. It's a balanced thing, because that could either go well, because like a person that just like you, all on the same type of time, like, you know, as Cyrax says, listen, every flesh cleavage to his like. Actually, let me grab that real quick. And that's a good thing too, because it's a balance too, because like, you know, let me grab that Cyrax. So yeah, that's true, man. Because some people have kindred spirits. So yeah, so that's true. But also too, sometimes it's like, all right, cool. I want you to be you, brother. I want you to be, you know, sister. I want you to be you. That's why it's one coworker, a mom, man. I love her. She's hilarious, but you know, she's kind of like, you know, older sister. She's loud, kind of like really extroverted, like, you know, like she one of your aunties, man. That's why. But um. Okay, I don't even know what that's about, but she's like one of that. But you know, but I like it though, because like I like kind of going by talking about yesterday, when people are just them. Like, all right, cool, that's not you, that's just who they are. But you know, me, let me get this Ecclesiastes chapter 13 verse 16. All flesh will consider according to kind, and a man will cleave to his life. Yeah, so man, that's going into, and man and woman. Sometimes that's in, like, you know, brotherhood, or sometimes with you know, relationships, or even sisters. For sisters are watching sisterhood, like, you know, you're gonna cleave to your life. That's what happens. But you know, it can be a balanced thing sometimes, because like certain times, like, you know, certain people that they're alike so much, they clash. Like, you know, you've seen this, like, you know, I've seen this in my life, man. Like, you know, sometimes you have two like hyper intelligent people, very intelligent, but they just tend to, one, they can either get along, or one, they cannot get, like, they just tend to clash. It doesn't really get along, because that's what I heard. That's what, like, you know, allegedly happened with the old I think Brother Chronicles you pointed out, but I don't think it happened, but I could see it happen. I'm not sure if it's documented if it happened now. But the old Boston Celtics in 2000s, the mid 2000s Boston Celtics, man, with the whole KG, Ray Allen, and Paul Pierce and Rondo, man, because like you have two like people with high basketball IQs and very intelligent, like with Ray Allen and John Rondo. So like if they, I'm not sure if they ever clash, but that situations like that, like that can happen because they're both like hyper intelligent, and that could be like this sometimes. It could just like they have different viewpoints and different things, or sometimes people like that can be best friends, or like things of that nature. Or you got certain people that's like actually like what it is too, like I remember like reading a story, like I'm about to go into something else real quick, like reading a story like with Y and D from Rough Riders from back in the day. There was managers of Rough Riders, Y and D. If y'all that follow rap, follow the rap world in the history of rap, old school, that golden era type of thing. Like they did when they had X, and they said they brought him one time before like Tupac died, like in the mid 90s, so something had to be probably around 96, 90, around that time. They brought X to Death Row, things of that nature. Like and somebody said in the comment section, like had he got like signed with Death Row, some hypothetically, like I think they brought him with a meeting. I think they actually took a picture with Suge Knight, but it is what it is. But they brought him. They brought DMX to Death Row, and they didn't say that Tupac was there, but somebody said YouTube comment said, "Listen, X and Tupac, they probably would have been the best of friends or worse of enemies." And I could see that, man, just from afar. I never met them, of course, but just off that, people that's like always on go, hyper, very have a lot of energy, things like that. Because I know people like that in actual life, like they could be. I can see they could be the best of friends or the worst of enemies because they're very alike, they're very similar. But they have the different idiosyncrasies. They're very different in that, but they're very different in certain aspects. But and that root of like they have a lot of energy. So it's just like that's just is what it is, man. I just use that example. That's one that just came to mind. But certain situations like that happen a lot of times too. So you gotta realize that too. But that's where you not to know how to answer every man. Because listen, man, I could be wrong. Gangster hood dudes, gangster dudes, like not when they doing what they doing, but have like very like passionate dudes that just passionate, calm, quiet, like it's kind of like the Colossian 4:6. I can't be around those people every day. Like those type of a lot of personality, that's a lot of energy. Like even like somebody like my coworker, she's hilarious. I can't be like that. I can't probably be around that every day, but I could be around that. Listen, because that's when people are being them. And you gotta realize, like going back to my point, because y'all know I'm like the king of going off topics. Going off topic, But yeah, man, going back to the point, man, is that everybody doesn't have to check off every box, man. They don't, man, and that's okay, man, because a lot of times, like even with our people, a lot of times, like we do the whole financial literacy, economics and generational wealth type of things, but sometimes you gotta weigh out. You gotta weigh out, like okay, is your like okay, who in your family or what loved ones that you want to go in business with, that you want to know and strengthen weaknesses, because I know certain things my family ain't gonna call me about, because listen, we love Omar, or like people that know me that might not call me about us. Listen, I might listen. No, we love you, but this night might not be the best for you. I can't probably call you for this, or you probably can't be doing for this. But certain things they can. Like even my homie, like he said, listen, like when we was working together last year, he said, listen, I chose you over somebody else that I knew. He said, listen, but I love him though. We said, listen, but it was like that was his man though, from like from growing up. It was that was his homie from like since Sandbox days, growing up in Philly, ain't no Sandbox like that. But I'm saying that as a term. But that was his man since then. But he said, "Listen, I chose you because I just like because certain things like how I think you'll be better fit for the job that for getting this job, like and I love my homie right there. I love him like my brother right here. I love him, but it's just like certain things that he does. Like that's what's going into, like I was talking about earlier. Like it's gotta know different people. Everybody doesn't check off every box, and that's okay, because a lot of times you want everybody to check off every box, and that's don't. But gotta accept people them for them. That's why I make the bad ways videos. Shoot, I got bad ways, things like that. Other people got bad ways, so it's all good. Like gotta be realized. But of that, man. Because every time, like, people like that's why a lot of times relationship fails. It's like honestly, it's like even just from afar, like even whatever the dynamics of relationships fail, like even with brotherhood or like friendships or like even relationships, man. Because you gotta learn how to wink at certain things, man. Wink at certain ignorances that people just won't let certain things go. Because every time people aren't going to live it up, aren't going to be like everything is not. It's not going to be everything is going to be to a T. Like everybody's not going to check every box and do everything that you want them to do. It's like certain things got all right. Let's slide. Like let it slide. All right, cool. Like it is what it is. That's just who that person is. Like you gotta let that go. But yeah, but going back to the point though, here's I just did always say out to say the read Proverbs 26:11. It says an employer who hires any fool that comes along is only hurting everybody concerned. So yeah, man, you gotta count the cost, man. Because certain family businesses go through that, it's like no matter what nation they are, but it's going through that. It's like all right, I say it a lot of times. 'Cause I know there are people like we try to get everybody involved in everything, but sometimes you can't, even though you want to. I help you, but you got to help them in a different capacity, man. Because it is too. One, because I was actually talking to somebody last night. He's a brother that I know, like he coworker, like somebody last night that he wants to do stand up, man. He said, listen, he even went to this you got as doing stand up, man. You got to realize you got to assess yourself, do some self evaluation. It kind of goes into what I'm saying. Listen, all right, am I funnier than anybody in my family? Because one, if you can't get past that, then I probably can't do this. So that's another reason for that. It's like, listen, you gotta. That's that self assessment. Like, so, have that self awareness. Like, okay, self certain thing. Okay, am I like am I like Am I? He's listening. Am I funnier than my uncle? Or am I funnier than my older brother? My cousins? My like my some of my aunts, my grandfather, my grandmother, because if I could be the last Mohican on that, then okay, I can do that, man. But going back to the point like that, because speaking of stand up anyway, because I remember on the Chappelle show, Charlie Murphy, man, he did when he started out with during Eddie Murphy's prime with the whole Delirious and Raw era, like Charlie Murphy's on record, a record, man, rest in peace, Charlie Murphy's so crazy that he's going too, but Charlie Murphy's on record saying like, listen, man, I would get upset, when people wouldn't laugh at Eddie Murphy's jokes. He said, listen, I thought it was funny because he was always a protective brother, man. He was always a protective older brother, man. So he said, listen, man, if I saw you in the crowd, you wasn't laughing, man, I would swing on you, or he was just getting a lot of fights like that, But then they came up to him because he was his security. He was Eddie Murphy's security. Then they said, listen, the whole team sat him down and said, listen, Eddie, listen, Charlie, maybe let's try to find a different role for you, man. And that's kind of what I'm kind of saying, pretty much. Like, listen, know it. You gotta know your people. You only have to be family members, your loved ones, brothers, homies. Like, know what? This might not be for them. Because a lot of times too, even in the sports world, right? Like people, think that certain times on paper things will work, or certain players that could have went certain places could have been drafted or could have been trained certain places that that people say on paper, on talent, on paper, and looking at the roster, it's a lot of talent there, shoot, they probably could have won a lot of championships. But then again, you gotta think about you have to know psychologically what they bring, the archetype, what they bring to the table, what they are, because certain things that I couldn't see that wouldn't work. I'm just using this example because it's really in real life example and spiritually example. Because I was actually talking about my homie with this a while back. But Carmelo, those that in the 2003, over 21 years ago, 2003 draft, Carmelo, if y'all notice, Carmelo had the ability to play for those 2000 Detroit Pistons, man. But you know what? I'm of the belief. I think that had won the work. Now I'm thinking about as talent, because honestly he could have been a scoring option, of course, a lot of times. But but this his archetype and who kind of who he is from afar. I don't think that would have worked because one, those Pistons, man, those 04 Pistons, man, those 2000 Pistons, man, they was all heavy on defense, and Carmelo always wasn't the best defender, but you had to, let's. I was talking about this with my homies. Listen, you had to play some defense, though. I know that much. But also too, that wouldn't work because even Chauncey Billups late in his career when he played with Melo in Denver, he said, listen, when Carmelo, like, say if they would have lost, I mean, and Carmelo had like dropped 20, I mean 20 plus, or he had like plus like dropped 30 or 25 or something like that, he'd been cool, like, all right, cool. But had they won, and he would kind of, had they won, and he say he had like 10, I mean 15 some points, like he would come back to the locker room kind of down, things of that nature. So and that's when I knew when Chauncey said that. I was like, listen, oh, he probably couldn't have played there. Like, that wouldn't have worked. Like, because you gotta know, you have to know people. You have to know, you have to know what you're dealing with. And good coaches, good like mentors, good teachers, they know that, okay, they can't work. This can't. They're not going to mesh well. Like, they can't mesh well. So, and those like Pistons right now, they were so, they were so like, that's what made them so great. Is the one that wasn't really a superstar on there. There was star players, good player, but it was a synergy that they had. And Carmelo's kind of like, he's a me guy, and that's cool. Like, he want to get my points. I want to get, like, he's in that Allen Iverson, like, Russell Westbrook, like, type of lane. Like, let me just get what let me get my stats. Let me get that. Like, I would want to win the championship, but let me get my stats, and Carmelo's about the money too. And I ain't faulting him for that. Listen, get your money, man. I ain't faulting him for that, but I'm just using him as an example, because I'm of the belief that even, like, because even though he played there later with later in his career, like, I think LeBron and like, because LeBron and Shaq, like, even though he played with LeBron later in his career, Shaq played with um LeBron later in his career when Cleveland. I think more Shaq and LeBron and Shaq would have worked more than Kobe and Shaq. Like, honestly, that would have probably lasted longer because his personality there. The only thing that would with that is, like, is like kind of the tension, because they both love attention. I think LeBron loves attention slightly more than Shaq, but that's why I think that is part of the reason why Kobe and Shaq. That's the reason why, one of the reasons why Kobe and Shaq, like, kind of like, split up, fell out and split up, man, because it's the fact that this is who they are personality wise. Like, they got what they got out of the championships. They squeezed all the juice out that orange that they could, but um but still, it's just the fact that it was his personality, two different types of people, and that's, it's like, but they're still, like, quote unquote alphas, like, they're still, as I'm using it in sports sense, like in the sports sense, but they're still quote unquote, like, yeah, they did that, and that's the reason why. Because Kobe's very serious, very, like, very, very focused, very serious, very, like, and Shaq's the total opposite. Shaq's just like a jockster. I mean, not a jockster. What's the yeah, man, but Shaq's just like a goofball. He's a clown. Like, he's likes to joke a lot. Like, that's just is who he is. He's just like, big the class clown. That's just is what he is. But so that kind of was kind of bound to happen. But like somebody like a LeBron, had he played with him longer, that probably would have, because personality, that would have worked. I remember Chronicles of Judah brought that out in one of his videos years ago, and I concur. I agree with that. But I'm using these sports examples, and I'm having a little sports talk and basketball talk or sports talk, or like I'm using these examples because this is real life, man. Because, like, you got to think about this, like, honestly, man, because it is, like, you don't think, like, there's a reason why Yahushua made Peter, like, he's going to build the one, because, like, the Most High gave him spiritual eyes to see that this was the son of Most High. This is the son of Yahweh right here, the son of God right here. But but also too, man, it's probably like, there's a reason why, man. There's a reason why for that Romans 12 and that 1 Corinthians 12 and now have different offices is very key, man, because it's all the same thing, man. But but yeah, man. But everybody doesn't have to check off every box, because I damn sure don't check off every box and everything, But it says, let me get this Proverbs 26:10. An employer who hires any fool is that comes along is only hurting him. Everybody concerned. Yeah. So let me grab this. I'm gonna close out with this. Everything's not powerful for every man. Let's grab that. Yeah. Now this is talking about kind of food, like going to how every food doesn't taste good to everybody, like but on a spiritual level, on like it's already talking about this. For all things are not profitable for all men, neither have every soul have pleasure in everything. So yeah, man, everything's not profitable for every man. Everybody's not gonna check off all the boxes, man, for certain things. Sometimes your friends are like dumb as hell, stupid, like Sometimes like you got for certain times you got other people, other brothers and sisters, other friends, other loved ones, like I should say loved ones more, or other loved ones, or other friends that they're kind of too smart for their own good. It's like okay, they're hyper intelligent, but yeah, they're actually hyper intelligent. But like Proverbs even says, some Proverbs says like, listen, you can have somebody, but they's not street smart. Like, listen, okay, I can't take with you anywhere because you just kind of like you're very hyper, like very intelligent, very cerebral, very astute, like very your mental acuity is high, but you just don't know how to move in the streets. You're not that street smart, but or like I'm just like certain times like you go in this like growing up, man, like it might take somebody like listen, we about to get jumped. All right, cool. I already know I always count on this brother because he always down for whatever. He like shoot if we gonna get if somebody gonna jump and try to fight, listen, he always down that. But sometimes like like I always say, it's okay to betray. Certain times like your other homie, he not like that, man. It's like but I'm not gonna look at him any different, man. So you gotta know different people, man. So and but that's all that I went to all that's like that Colossians 4 and 6 and what we read in Proverbs, man. So hopefully this is edifying, man. So peace.